Gerbeegly!
Hey there guys and gals, it's Gerbeegly with another episode of Gaming with Gerbeegly, and I'm once again playing the game Katawa Shoujo, and last episode was crazy. We, for whatever reason, got confronted in the showers when we were naked by a naked Kenji who once again went off on an insane tangent about the feminist conspiracy and their plot to take over the world, and he really wanted money for pizza, which we eventually folded and gave to him. Now we're at class super early. Hisao is mega tired because he keeps coming into class way too early, and he's vowed that he's going to stop doing so. And while we were in here, Lily wandered in, and also Shizune and Misha, who have beef with her for some reason. So they're not getting along. They're kind of in the middle of an argument about the festival. Let's continue.
It was your responsibility. A budget report isn't something you should just be delegating away. As class rep, it's your job to be on top of things. This kind of disregard for proper procedure is really just terrible.
They completed it, being capable of doing so, but the students have been sick recently, so they could not come to school and give it back to me. If you want, I will apologize on their behalf for getting sick.
Okay.
Although Misha misses Lily's little jab entirely, Shizune doesn't, and she seems torn between being offended by Lily's daring and jumping for joy at the prospect of a challenge. Oh man, Shizune is like a power-hungry, crazy person. She is super aggressive.
Lily, don't they live here at the school? That's a 5-minute walk, you know. What could they possibly have that prevents them from taking 5 minutes out of their busy lives to drop off something that will affect the enjoyment of their entire class?
Lily opens her mouth to say something, but Shizune closes the gap between them and starts signing furiously, waving her hands around like an orchestra conductor. Misha tries her best to convey the same passion, but can't seem to lose her normal cheerful tone. The result is interesting and somewhat surreal.
And what's with that attitude? I said that it's not something you should be delegating away. Are you the class representative, or aren't you? Tell me the names of those two students. They should have your job if you can't even handle something this simple yourself.
Man, they're kind of bitchy. I mean, Shizune is very, very overbearing.
One form isn't the full extent of what I am supposed to take care of.
Lily's tone is growing slightly impatient, but she's doing a good job of not letting Shizune see how unsettled she's becoming. She's playing her cards close to her chest. Shizune, on the other hand, wraps her fingers cheerfully along the edge of her glasses, knowing Lily can neither hear nor see how excited she is. Oh man, Shizune. She certainly delights in crazy stuff. She's like a sadist.
Of course, you do so much, class rep. It must be so difficult being you.
Lily tightens her lips at Misha's words, clearly understanding the intent behind them, even though Misha delivers them without even a hint of the sarcasm which they were meant to have. Shizune and Lily don't like each other, that much is clear, but this seems a little much. It seems like Lily has had enough and is ready to push back. Uh-oh, whoa! Oh, wow! I like that. It's like a battle screen for like a fighting game.
I was actually just discussing the budget report before you came by. You must be very talented to have finished all your student council duties so quickly that you can track me down and make sure I don't forget my own.
Are you accusing me of slacking off? It seems like you're confusing me with yourself.
I don't think so. That would be a very difficult thing for me to do, comparing myself to you.
You're right, the difference between us is like heaven and hell.
And it's not that hard to guess which one you might represent.
I love it. The air between them ripples with the heat of their enmity. Well, not really. They can't disguise it anymore, though. Even Misha looks like she's beginning to understand the real nature of this conversation. Damn.
Hee-chan, don't you slack off either.
What are you talking about?
Aren't you taking part in the festival, Hee-chan? You are, aren't you? Then, I hope you're going to do a lot more than make sure it goes smoothly than this person.
I don't understand why Shizune is suddenly getting mad at me. Don't drag me into this, I've done my part, or hey, come on, cut me and Lily some slack. I'm gonna stick up for Lily, because Lily's pretty cool, and they're coming down pretty damn hard, and obviously, you know, she's just gonna keep getting emotionally and verbally beat up otherwise. Hey, I'm the new guy, remember? It's not like I could have done much, even if I wanted.
That's right. You shouldn't expect a transfer student to jump right into it on his first week.
Lily taking my side feels oddly comforting, so I decide to back her up too. Yeah, you're being unreasonable with us both. Uh-oh, Shizune is gonna be pissed.
Excuses, Miss Class Rep has had plenty of time to deal with her report. And we repeatedly offered you a position to help with the student council work, but you refused to commit yourself to making the festival a success.
Yeah, but I said back then, I'm not sure if... I don't have time for this right now. No matter what I do, it will mean being drawn into a confrontation with Shizune, and that's what she wants. Whatever. Forget it. I turn my back at them. Good idea, man. Lily, class is going to be starting soon, so we can talk more later. I'll tell Hanako you were looking for her. I can feel Shizune freezing. Maybe this is the first time she's ever been ignored in such a blunt manner. Thank you, Hisao. I'll leave now, then. She gives me the sweetest smile I've seen all week, and turns on her heels to make her exit. As soon as Lily walks out the door, I suddenly start feeling reluctant about turning to face Shizune. Uh-oh. I can feel her eyes burning into my back and can't bring myself to look at her. She must be furious. I keep expecting Misha to say something to alleviate the tension, but it really is wanting too much. In the end, I go back to my seat and listen to the sound of Shizune's footsteps. She marches out of the room. She doesn't return until a few minutes before class. Uh-oh. We really pissed off Shizune. But, you know, like he was saying, she was being very unreasonable. Hanako doesn't come to the morning class at all, leaving her seat looking empty and lonely in the back of the classroom. I have to tell her that Lily was looking for her if I see her later. After the events of this morning, class is pretty boring in comparison. I turn the pages of my textbook lazily. I have a bit of catching up to do despite trying to keep up with my studies at the hospital, but I'm not feeling that enthusiastic about it. I mean, school is pretty boring, man. I don't blame you. The clock at the front of the room sounds unbearably loud. The teacher hasn't said anything in over 7 minutes, instead opting to cover the board in rows and rows of equations taken directly from the book. The rhythmic clashing of chalk on blackboard seems to synchronize perfectly with the ticking of the clock. I start to copy down the equations just to pass the time, even though they're right there in the textbook. Well, you know what? That's actually a great study technique because it's like memorization by repetition. I mean, not to get too into teaching because that's not what this game's about, but, you know, that's a good study hint. When the bell rings, I'm not in a hurry because I have nothing to do, so I stay for a while, reviewing what we covered in class today. I prefer to leave last anyway, so I don't have to deal with crowding in the hallways. I notice Shizune and Misha have also stayed behind, talking to someone from another class. Shizune is signing so fast that her hands make noises like swords cutting through the air. Maybe there's pent-up anger in there. Misha's trying desperately to keep up, but it's clear she can barely manage to even understand her. I put my head down. Whatever they're discussing, it looks like serious business. Shizune signs to the point where her wrists crackle, and Misha struggles to spit it out in word form. Sometimes she trips over herself like she's dealing with tongue twisters, and then on top of that, she has to sign back anything the other girl says. Seems like a rough job. Misha looks tired, but she's about to faint. Luckily for her, their business is soon finished and the girls sit down on their desks again.
Ugh, I'm so tired.
She's hanging her head limply on her desk, looking exhausted. I'll use the opportunity to reconcile with Shizune a bit, without getting roped into the student council thing again, though I suspect that door is now closed for me. Festival preparations must be tough for you. Indeed, the people in this school seem to be taking the festival very seriously. Whenever I see people idling around before and after classes, they're always talking about their plans for it. It's kind of neat to see everyone being so enthusiastic about it. I really love the soundtrack, by the way. It's really, really good. I can't remember if I mentioned this in a previous episode, but I did download it and I've been listening to it a lot. It's beautiful. It's really well done, well composed. Bravo to everyone who worked on it. But yeah, I really highly suggest downloading it. It's free on the website. I'm probably the only one who doesn't have something to do. Shizune scoffs at me first, as if trying to decide whether to ignore or sneer at me, but in the end she starts signing without doing either. Misha perks up, looking at her hands with slightly unfocused eyes. Uh-oh. Misha's gonna, like, collapse or something. She signs with harsh, heavy, dramatic strokes. Misha translates her signing into speech for me. She does it so well. It's almost like Shizune is actually speaking, transmitting her thoughts directly through Misha. She must have practiced it vigorously.
Well, of course. We're in the student council, you know, so we're pretty busy. It's an important duty of ours to ensure the success of the festival with all our strength. We would shame ourselves in front of the past student council generations if the festival were to fail.
I like Misha a lot. She's funny.
That's why there must be no flaws, I think it was encumbrances, nothing that might make the festival short of perfect.
Shizune's passionate speech and Misha's enacting are really oddly fitting of them.
Oh, hello.
Oh, it's Hanako.
I look over my shoulder and see Hanako peering timidly into the classroom, most of her body hidden behind the door.
Hey, playing delinquent again?
Hanako blushes hard at Misha's straightforward jab, even if it was only in jest. Uh-oh. They're ganging up on her. Oh, Hanako, don't leave! Shizune stares at her probingly, causing Hanako to look down and start backing away to the point where only her fingers can be seen wrapped nervously around the edge of the door. Maybe she's just showing her dislike of Hanako by association of her dislike of Lily. It appears so, and Hanako probably knows it as well. Aw, poor Hanako. What is it, Hanako?
Has Lily been here? Sorry, haven't seen Sato. She, came by in the morning, though.
Hanako keeps looking uneasily at Shizune, who stares back at her with her usual studying gaze. What is she trying to do? Of course Shizune isn't going to look away, and she's intimidating enough as it is, so I can only imagine how terrified Hanako would be. It is a little uncomfortable watching Hanako's reaction to Shizune's normal behavior. This is what happens when two people of two different extremes meet, it seems.
Do you know where she is? If she has any sense in her head, she's in her classroom working on their festival project, but who knows where that woman is loitering at?
Woman. They're all high school girls. They're not really women yet, I guess. I don't know. You're young women, I guess. You need to find her? She was looking for you in the morning, but I guess you've missed each other. She waits a little without answering the simple question, looking awfully like she's not sure if it's proper to answer such a question.
Yeah.
I can come with you, if it's okay. Aww. Hanako nods frantically, still on guard, her shoulders stiff like wood. I get the feeling that she might be more comfortable by herself after all, but it's too late to back off now. She has this really troubled expression she seems to wear almost constantly, one that makes me constantly be on guard myself. I wonder why. I kind of understand why she always seems to be so wary, or maybe more like there could be a person like her. But I still have no idea how I should act around such a person. It's dinner time soon. Were you planning to eat with Lily? She nods slightly. So, she must have been trying to get in the cafeteria. Well, there's something of a dinner crowd, just like the cafeteria is crowded during lunch. It's not as bad because dinner time is longer than lunch hour, but I can understand why Hanako could be discouraged from going in. I pick up my bag and we take our leave. Hanako slips a little to meet my initial pace, so I slow down to match her speed, or skips a little to meet my initial pace. Oops. There's that painting. It doesn't take long for us to be walking at a comfortable pace down the hallway. It almost feels like we're going for a stroll together, something that I can't say I've really done before with a girl. Hanako doesn't seem to be thinking the same thing, though. Even though we are walking at the same pace, she never comes within arm's reach of me. Aw, she's so shy. I guess she's still a little uncomfortable around me. Given how shy she is, there doesn't seem to be much helping it, at least for now. By the time we arrive at the cafeteria, there's not much of a crowd there, but Lily is nowhere to be seen. Aw, darn it. Hanako's head sinks even lower than usual. Have you looked somewhere else already?
Just at the library. I was reading.
So she does spend the classes she skips at the library. Ah, so not exactly a thorough search then. Well, if I had my guess, she'd be in her own class like Shizune said, right?
Right.
Aw. With the slightest of nods, Hanako agrees with my reasoning. God, she's being so awkward. It's like I need double-layered silk gloves with padding to even begin interacting with her. Some small talk might help her become a bit more used to me. It isn't hard to tell that the silence between us is hovering on the edge of both our minds. So, you and Lily usually hang out together after class, right?
Yes.
I'm not quite sure what I expected from her answer, nor why I even asked the question. That much was rather obvious after all. She doesn't seem like the type to cultivate a social circle either, so I suspect that Lily may well be her only friend. Must be a pain being in different classes, I'm guessing. She gives a sharp, almost reflexive nod. Compared to Lily's careful thought about her actions and speech, Hanako hastens to make her answers as prompt and short as possible. That's a weird sentence to read. Sorry about that, guys.
Lily comes by the classroom, though, even when she's busy.
She gives a small smile as she says it, evidently appreciating the fact that Lily goes out of her way to help her. Aw. It's pretty cute, really. There isn't any need to say more. Both of us content that the discussion's reached an end. As we ascend the stairs back to the lobby, we're met by a group of students heading downstairs like a school of fish moving from one feeding area to another. Oh, hi there, Hanako.
They seem to be keeping mostly to themselves, but before I can notice her doing so, Hanako has moved around behind me. Hey, are you alright?
Just keep going.
Aw. The students pass us without as much as a second glance, and Hanako takes up position to my side again as we enter the building, her momentary reprieve from her anxiety all but snatched away. Even as we climb towards the third floor, she doesn't seem to relax. It's as if I've never known a shy person before, even shy girls, but Hanako seems to be pretty far beyond what I'd call normal in her fear of other people. Aw. If it weren't for Lily acting as a mediator, I doubt Hanako would have even been able to walk beside me like this. She seems to be completely shut down in the presence of others. The rest of the walk up to Lily's classroom continues in strained silence while I rue her inability to socialize at all. After we make our way up the stairs, the noise coming from Lily's classroom is audible from halfway down the hallway. I wasn't expecting such a din at all. Well, I guess we found her. That wasn't hard. Did Hanako come here first then? Did Hanako come here first, then come to me for backup, I wonder? Well, if that's true, then at least she's starting to trust me a little. That can only be a good thing. Eventually, the two of us reached the door to Class 3-2. With Hanako less than subtly positioning herself behind me, I opened the door. Inside is a hive of activity, seemingly every student in the class talking at once as they work hurriedly on their separate tasks. Going by the paint cans, decorations, and banners being made, it must be for the upcoming school festival. I bet that Lily was so pissed off by the discussion with Shizune in the morning that she went and she was like, listen up, Class 3-2, we're gonna freaking do this. And I bet she motivated everybody to kick ass. I guess my first priority should be finding Lily. There. Finding her among the din is surprisingly easy, not the least because of her looks. With a couple of students gathered around her as she stands at the front of the class, she seems to be in charge of the preparations, or at least busy organizing them. Carefully negotiating a path through the various students hunched over the floor for lack of desk space, I raise a hand entirely out of habit as we finally reach Lily. Hi, Lily! She perks her head up as she breaks off, talking to a noticeably smaller girl who must be her classmate, trying to listen as best as she can.
Sorry, who?
Sorry, Hisao. I have Hanako, too. Aw.
Hi.
She's pretty skittish. Considering the number of people around, it isn't too hard to work out why. Lily takes a moment's pause to assess the situation before turning to the other student once again.
For the moment, just ask Mariah for his advice. Kenji's busy with painting one of the banners already.
Oh god, Kenji's in this class? I quick nod and she bounces off, fingers carefully sliding along the wall's face for orientation. Wait, Kenji? That Kenji? I'm already dreading it. I quickly turn around, leaning to the side to see past Hanako. Sure enough, in the corner of the room, Kenji's hunched over a sheet of cloth as he paints it. His eyes remain only inches from the brush, reminding me of how close he had to be to make out my face when I met him.
Sorry about that. Our class doesn't have many students with even partial eyesight, so they're in high demand.
That's right. Class 3-2 is especially for students with poor vision. Preparing for the festival must be pretty arduous for them. Need a hand? I could give you help if you need some. Maybe Hanako could too. A chance to set her mind on something would do her good, but I doubt she has the courage to ask outright. She quickly nods in affirmation afterwards, so I'm confident I made the right move. Lily gives a noticeable sigh of relief.
Ah, that's good. This might actually get finished before everyone goes off to dinner now.
I can't.
Would you be able to help the person painting the main banner? It's a big task for him to do, but nobody else can help.
Kenji? Sure. She seems surprised that I know him. I can't really blame her.
I take it you've met?
Our rooms in the dorm are right next to each other. Hard to miss each other, really.
Well, it's good to see you're getting friends so fast.
If only you knew, Lily. Friend. I wonder if that's the right word to use for him. Yeah. Hanako's silence during the proceedings reminds me of the reason I put her up to helping in the first place. We'll go help him then. He knows what needs doing, right?
That's right. Just ask if you have any problems.
Aw, Lily's so nice. Chorusing in assent, Hanako and I begin another trek across the classroom. Kenji sits crouched on the floor, his gaze fixed on the white calico in front of him. Alright, and we'll see what Kenji has to say at the beginning of next episode, guys. I'm going to end it here. There he is at the bottom of the screen being
being Kenji. But anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to hit the like button, share the video, and favorite it. Also, be sure to subscribe to me if you guys haven't already. For those of you who have, thank you so much for all of your support. You guys are the best in the world. I love every single one of you, and as always, it was great seeing ya. Bye-bye. Now what do I do? Lady! Now, lady? Oh, I bet throw it up means I had to throw the apple up, and then it would have shot up into the... Okay, space. So, like, what happens if we... Space. Oh, shit. That's not what we wanted to do. Alright. Oops, excuse me. I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry.